Welcome back to Netrush Report, your home for deep dive tennis breakdowns, money moves, and the stories behind the stars of the sport. If you love uncovering the drama beyond the court, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Carlos Alcaraz has been a machine in 2025. He's only 22 years old, but he's already a six-time Grand Slam champion and the face of men's tennis. From Paris to New York, Alcaraz has racked up historic wins, massive paydays, and a reputation as the most relentless competitor on tour. But in the hours after defeating Taylor Fritz to win the Japan Open, Alcaraz posted something on social media that stunned the tennis world. He revealed he would be skipping the Shanghai Masters, an ATP 1000 event and one of the most prestigious tournaments on the calendar. For most fans, this was simply a rest decision, and in some ways, a well-deserved one. After all, since Cincinnati, Alcaraz's schedule has been brutal. He won the Cincinnati Masters, beating Jannik Sinner in the final. Flew straight to New York for the U.S. Open mixed doubles, before taking on the singles field. He went on to win the U.S. Open title, once again defeating Sinner in the final. After a short break, he headed to San Francisco for the Laver Cup, then flew across the Pacific to Tokyo, where he claimed the Japan Open title against Taylor Fritz. That's a nightmare travel schedule even for a seasoned veteran, let alone a 22-year-old still adjusting to life at the top of the sport. So, why is skipping Shanghai such a big deal? Because ATP 1000 tournaments are mandatory, and missing them comes at a steep financial penalty, especially when it comes to the lucrative ATP bonus pool. Let's break down what's really at stake. The ATP sets aside $21 million every year as a special prize pool, exclusively for players who rack up the most points at Masters 1000 events. The idea is simple: show up, compete, perform well, and you'll be rewarded at the end of the season with a slice of this bonus money. The top player at year's end takes home a staggering $3.8 million. The second spot earns about $1.9 million. Third gets $1.1 million, and so on. As of now, Carlos Alcaraz is sitting at the very top of that list. With wins at Monte Carlo, the Italian Open, and Cincinnati, he has established himself as the Masters 1000 King of 2025. But there's a catch, and it's a brutal one. According to the ATP rulebook, if a player misses one mandatory Masters event, they lose 25% of their bonus. Miss two, and it's 50%. Miss three, that's a devastating 75% cut in potential bonus payout. And if they miss four mandatory events, they lose the entire thing. That's exactly where Carlos Alcaraz finds himself now. By skipping Shanghai, Alcaraz has now missed the Madrid Open due to injury, the Canadian Open to prepare for the US Open, and now the Shanghai Masters rest decision. That means, under ATP rules, his 75% penalty kicks in. Instead of the full $3.8 million prize he was on track to collect as the bonus pool leader, Alcaraz will forfeit about $2.85 million, leaving him with only around $950,000 if he holds on to the top spot. It's a painful number to process. Think about it. A single decision to rest his body cost him more than most players earn in their entire careers. But was it really a mistake? Or was this the right call for the long-term health of Carlos Alcaraz's career? Fans sometimes forget just how grueling life on the tennis tour is. It's not just the matches. It's the endless flights, media obligations, training sessions, and recovery routines that eat away at a player's body and mind. Alcaraz has played nonstop since August, crossing multiple time zones and handling both singles and doubles commitments. Even though he's only 22, his game is incredibly physical. Every rally, every point, is explosive. He's not a player who can just coast through a match. His style demands maximum energy. And that's where the risk lies. The last thing Alcaraz can afford is a major injury caused by overplaying. We've seen it before with young stars. Burnout and injuries derail what should have been legendary careers. By skipping Shanghai, Alcaraz and his team are making a statement: health over money, career longevity over short-term paydays. If Alcaraz's $2.8 million loss sounds bad, wait until you hear about Jannik Sinner. The Italian star, world number 2, has endured a nightmare season despite still playing at an elite level. Earlier this year, Sinner faced a suspension after testing positive for a banned substance. While his team argued contamination and appealed, the ban meant he had no choice but to miss multiple tournaments. Unfortunately for him, those tournaments included mandatory Masters 1000 events like Indian Wells, Miami, and Madrid. Later, he also skipped the Canadian Open. That's 4 Masters missed. And under ADP rules, that means Sinner isn't just losing a percentage of his bonus pool, he's losing the entire thing. No matter how well he plays the rest of the season, no matter how many titles he wins, Sinner will walk away from the ADP bonus pool with $0. It's a brutal punishment, but it shows just how strict the ADP is about protecting these events and ensuring top stars show up. For Sinner, this isn't just about money. It's about reputation. Fans already whisper about whether the doping case will haunt his career. Now, financially, the lost millions only add to the sense that 2025 has been one of the most frustrating years of his career. At this point, you might be wondering, why does the ADP make these penalties so harsh? Why not let players rest if they need it? The answer is money, but not for the players. For the ADP, the Masters 1000 tournaments are their bread and butter. They bring in massive broadcast deals. They drive ticket sales in cities around the world. And they give fans a chance to see the very best, even outside of the 4 Grand Slams. If stars like Alcaraz or Sinner start skipping them regularly, the value of those events drops. Imagine buying tickets for Shanghai or Miami expecting to see the world #1, only to find out he's resting. That hurts the product. So the ADP has created a system that basically forces players to show up, unless they're injured. Even then, the rules are tricky. If a player is physically present but withdraws due to an injury on site, the penalty is lighter. But if they just don't show up at all, the hammer comes down. It's a way of saying, play or pay the price. Now, let's put this into perspective. Carlos Alcaraz has already earned over $15 million in prize money this season alone. That doesn't even include endorsements from Nike, Babolat, Rolex, and countless other sponsors. So, for a guy like him, is $2.8 million really a devastating loss? Maybe not. But here's where it stings. That bonus money is almost free. He doesn't have to win another match, sign another contract, or play another set. All he had to do was show up in Shanghai. Even if he lost in the early rounds, the rules would still count him as having participated. So, in effect, Alcaraz gave up nearly $3 million for the sake of rest. That's the kind of financial decision that only a superstar at his level can afford to make. For context, the average ADP player ranked in the top 100 makes around $1 million to $1.5 million per year. The top 30 players share that $21 million bonus pool. By skipping Shanghai, Alcaraz voluntarily gave away an amount of money greater than most of his peers will earn in 2 full seasons. But here's the big question. Is this actually smart? When you think about Alcaraz's long-term career, the answer might be yes. Tennis history is full of stars who pushed too hard, too fast, and paid the price. Remember Rafael Nadal? His all-out playing style led to recurring knee and foot injuries that cost him years of prime tennis. Andy Murray pushed through hip issues until his body finally gave out, leaving him fighting just to stay in the top 50. Alcaraz's team clearly doesn't want him going down that path. By resting now, even at the cost of millions, he may be buying himself longevity, and with it, future titles, endorsements, and yes, even more money. After all, what's $2.8 million compared to the potential of adding 5 or 6 more Grand Slam trophies to his name? This is the balancing act every superstar faces: money today or legacy tomorrow. And for Carlos, legacy seems to matter more. Unsurprisingly, tennis fans have been split on this decision. On one hand, many are applauding Alcaraz for putting his health first. Social media is full of comments like, "Finally, an athlete who understands rest is part of success," or "Smart move. We need him at 100% for Paris and Turin." But not everyone agrees. Some fans, especially those who bought tickets for the Shanghai Masters, feel let down. Others argue that skipping these events is disrespectful to the sport, especially when so much money is at stake. There's also a camp of critics who say, if you can play in Tokyo, why not Shanghai? What's the difference? It's a fair point. For many, it feels strange that Alcaraz had the energy to play in Tokyo, but not in China. His schedule looks like it was designed to maximize marketing opportunities, not necessarily competitive balance. That tension between